Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. It would appear that once again I have managed to accidentally take a week-long break from posting videos. I had no intention of doing it in the first place. I have tried to film some videos. They have not gone well, or there have been technical issues which have been entirely my fault. So yeah, I've been gone about a week. It wasn't intentional, but I am back and filming. I don't know if I'm gonna have much of a schedule this month because I have got a lot of overtime at work. We're just gonna see how it goes. We are just gonna roll with it and hope for the best. Anyway, for today's video, we're gonna do something that I haven't done before, something a little bit different, which I feel like I say all the time. I am on a little bit of a no-buy this month. I feel like I've bought a lot of makeup recently, so I wanna focus on what I have in my collection, using up some bits and pieces maybe have been around for a while, and that's what we're gonna be doing today because we're gonna be looking at products that I'm trying to finish up. Now, I don't do a project pan. I feel like it's not something that would work for me with the way that I use my makeup, but I guess I'm kind of doing one, but not really. What I have is this little box here, which is full of products that I would quite like to finish out, that I would like to be gone from my collection. So today, we're just gonna be doing a full face using these products that I wanna finish up. I'm gonna show you guys what's in the box a little bit, talk you through it, let you know my thoughts on the products. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and we're gonna get started. I feel like the camera is picking up colors really differently today. I feel like I look really green on my monitor, but I don't know if it's just because I've got my hair down for the first time in ages and obviously it's seeing the color at the end of my hair and it's just picking that up or tricking me. I have no idea. Hopefully the color is normal because all my settings are the same as they usually are. So I'm gonna start with the skin today, and I have a couple of primers in here. I have the Revolution Glass Liquid Skin Primer. I've actually not got that much left. I'm quite surprised. I thought I had more left than that, but I've made good progress with that one. The MUA Pro Base Primer Oil. I'm wondering if I should declutter this one at this point because I've had it for a few years. And then I have the Clinique Pep Start Hydroblur Moisturiser, and that's what we're going to be using today. I'm pretty sure this is discontinued. I'm going to pop that on the areas where I get oily. This was one of the first products that I bought when I was working at Clinique because I thought it sounded really cool. My biggest regret is that I got the full size, the 50ml. I've been using this so slowly. Like, this is how much is left. Can you guys see? I don't really feel like it does a lot to keep me mattified, if I'm honest. Okay, I have got a total of 6 foundations in here, and we've got the MUA Pro Base foundation stick. I've got a review. I've also got the Pro Base Longwear Matte Finish foundation in 110. This is here because it's nearly finished. I also have the Jouer Essential High Coverage Foundation, the NYX Born to Glow, and the Clinique Even Better Refresh. With these foundations, the reason they've ended up in here is that I can't really use them on camera because they actually match my skin, and on camera if I wear something that matches my skin it ends up looking really washed out. The last foundation I've got is the MAC Studio Sculpt, and the shade is NW15. I got this last year after my makeup course. It looked really good on my skin at the time and I do not like it. I think this one is a good option if you have dry skin and you want a fuller coverage foundation. Like, you can see it's definitely covering up, but I have oily skin and it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't sit well on my texture. It settles into fine lines and things like that. Like, ooh, dropping it. Yeah, it just doesn't sit right. I just feel like it's not a good one for oily skin. And I mean, if you are after a fuller coverage option for dry skin anyway, I would go with the Clinique Even Better Refresh. I think this is a beautiful foundation. It looks okay right now. It's just throughout the day it ends up kind of all over the place. Yeah, I was just disappointed by it. Right, I don't have a spot concealer in here, so I'm just going to use my Conceal and Define Infinite in C5. Hope it's going to match. I have no idea if it's going to match. That doesn't look too bad. It's maybe a little bit lighter, which obviously isn't what you want, but I'm just going to go with it. I just managed to accidentally hit my mouse and stop recording, so I'm going to keep an eye on that and make sure that's not a regular occurrence. Yeah, there's still a bit coming through. I mean, I've got work this afternoon, so I'm gonna be wearing a mask, so it doesn't even really matter. Oh no! I had another primer that I wanted to use and I've forgotten. It's the Revolution Pro Under Eye Primer, the hydrating one. I have so much of this left. It's taken me ages to get through it. I thought it would be a really great buy. I thought it would really help with creasing on my under eyes. No, it hasn't really done anything. Just use your eye cream, it'll do the same thing. Anyway, concealer. I have a couple. I have the Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer. You guys have seen me use it loads. I am just trying to finish it up and it has been sat in this box for months at this point. It's taken me ages to get through it, but I am literally like, I'm nearly there. Like there's not a lot left in there. And then I do have the MUA Pro Base Full Coverage Concealer. Again, there is not a lot left of this. I could highlight with this one. Okay, right, let's use this one. I don't think you guys have seen it on my channel for a very long time. Oh, actually, I did have another concealer. Wow, guys, I'm so organized today. I did also put the Revolution Eye Bright concealer in this box to finish it up because it's just okay. Maybe we can use both. I don't know. Let's you know what? Let's try that. I'm just gonna do the under eyes. Let's see. I first tried this about 3 years ago at this point, so it definitely needs to go. Was it 3 years ago? Maybe just 2 years ago, actually. I do not think that this concealer is full coverage. I have just been trying to finish this concealer for ages so that I could give you some final thoughts. And it's not one that I ever use on camera because I don't really like the way it looks. But one thing I did notice, actually, one thing I will say, I used to hate this way that this looked and I used to powder it. And after a while, because I just couldn't get any under eye powders that worked for me, I just stopped powdering my concealer altogether. So when I was using it last year and I wasn't powdering it, it was creasing, but I felt like it wasn't creasing as much and the texture wasn't as bad. I think I was just using it with the wrong powders. I still wouldn't repurchase it. Like, this is supposedly full coverage. You can still see so much. Like, you really can. I think this is just gonna go in the bin. Like, there's not really a lot left. It's too old and it's just really not done anything for me. So I'm gonna switch over to the Revolution Eye Bright then. Let's try doing something here. I do just need more brightening and more concealing. Yeah, that is a lot better. Do you see just how much more that's covered immediately? And this is a much thinner product and it's not considered full coverage. So yeah, the MUA one, no, do not recommend. Okay, before we powder, I have a liquid blush from MUA. This is the Blushed Liquid Cream Blush and I have the shade Misty Rose. I'm gonna try with a brush. I don't know if I've ever tried applying this one with a brush, but I have been liking that recently. So I'm gonna pop a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm gonna use a PC19 from Peaches and Cream. I feel like my issue with this one in the past is that it's not super pigmented. When I first got it, I used my finger to apply it, which I think they do recommend. Yeah, best applied with your finger. I definitely feel like I'm getting more pigmentation out of it right now using it with the brush. I am having to build it up, and I would say this is definitely a more runny texture than, say, the Barry M one. Actually, using it with a brush, I am not getting bad pigmentation. Okay, maybe this is where I was going wrong with this one. It's not sitting well where I've got crusty spots, which, you know, I don't really want to be drawing attention to them. I do feel like you have to layer this one quite a lot. Like, I've just had to grab more product. I also don't know if wearing it with this foundation was a right idea. I feel like it's moving the product. I mean, it's not terrible. I feel like it's definitely gone better than other times that I've used it. Is it like my favorite? No, I mean, it's just not. It's not. It's just not. I guess this one might be good if you like a more subtle formula. I'm gonna get rid of those creases and that way we can powder. And I'm gonna go in with my RCMA No Color Powder, which was like a classic at one point. Everyone was using it. I have emptied the rest of mine in this jar just because it makes life a lot easier. And I'm gonna take a Morphe M330 and start by powdering the under eyes. There was a time where I loved this powder, and this is going back a few years, when I dabbled into cosplaying. I would wear my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation, and then I would powder down with so much of this, and it would last so well. It would last all day. If you're doing theatre makeup, drag, cosplay, you know, anything where you have got a lot of makeup on and it needs to last, something like this, good idea. Like, you can really do a thick layer and things won't go anywhere. I'm gonna go on those areas that need the setting the most. So the smile lines, I'm gonna go on those areas where I get oily. I am using quite a bit, to be fair. Oh, this is what I mean though. It just ends up piling on in a really thick layer. Oh, you know what, let's just go with it. And I am gonna take a powder brush. I'm gonna wipe away some of that excess a little bit. And then I'm gonna finish powdering the rest of the face. I would say I'm going in with a light dusting, but I don't think it can be considered a light dusting. Oh, this is not gonna be a makeup look that looks good today. There is a reason I'm trying to finish these products. And then what I would always do was use setting spray after that, and I would use a lot of setting spray. The Urban Decay would have been my setting spray of choice at the time, but today I'm gonna be using the I Heart Revolution fixing spray. This is the vanilla and coconut one. There's nothing wrong with this fixing spray. I don't necessarily think it extends the wear of my makeup. I don't think that's what it's designed to do anyway. But it does just get rid of that powdery effect, which we definitely need to get rid of. Yeah, I don't like the look of my skin right now. I feel like this is what used to happen to me a lot when I started posting to Instagram. I would have foundation on, I would have concealer on, but you could still see everything come through because the products that I was using just weren't right. Thank God I'm wearing a mask later. That's all I'm saying. Let's do bronzer next. I am currently trying to finish up the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker bronzer because I have actually hit pan, and the shade is Inda Sun, which I think is the lightest one, and that is what I like about this bronzer. It's such a good shade range. It really is. I think it's about 8 shades. You still have so many brands out there that do like 1 or 2 shades of bronzer, and it's like... So yeah, the Fenty one is really nice and light. I mean, right now it's not even going on. Maybe this isn't the best brush to use with it, actually. This is my Revolution, or was it like baking brush or something? It had a sponge on the other end and it fell off yesterday. I'm just gonna keep it. I quite like the brush on this side. Yeah, there we go. This should apply a bit more product. So yeah, I really like the color of this. It's also like not too warm toned, I would say. So if you do struggle to find a bronzer that isn't orange on you, it is there as a nice option. And she definitely did something that not a lot of other people were doing with bronzers at the time, but I don't know, I just tend to find that it doesn't sit quite right. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm wearing a foundation that I don't like right now. I definitely just have other bronzer formulas that I like better. The Revolution Bronzer Reloaded comes to mind. I talk about that one all the time. Definitely one of my favorites. Super, super cheap. I feel like my excitement over this bronzer for a long time was the shade range, and I feel like formula-wise, I'm just not loving it anymore. I don't think I would recommend it now. I think I have other bronzers that just sit on the skin a bit better. For my contour, I have the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Contour, which you guys will have seen on my channel quite a bit as well. The reason this one is in here is because the color just isn't quite right. It's quite pinky, which I guess technically would class it as more cool toned because it's not orangey. I don't know, it just doesn't look quite right, and it's also quite powdery, so it's quite pigmented, and sometimes you put it on and it gets caught in one area and then you struggle to blend it out if you've put too much product on. Yeah, definitely not a favorite for My Heart Revolution. I don't know what the other ones are like, if the ones for deeper skin tones are a bit better. Yeah, the fair one is just a little bit off for me. Okay, so I haven't got an eyeshadow palette that is in this box, like, of products I'm actually trying to finish up, but I'm still gonna pop on a little bit of eyeshadow today, and let's use a primer that I am trying to finish up. I'm gonna use the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Creme de Rose. This is like a real throwback for me because I was using it at the start of my Instagram. It was known to be a dupe for the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So I'm just gonna take it on my brush. And you know what? The color isn't bad. Like, it is quite pink, but I feel like we're not too far off. Like, it is manageable. And I have been using this one for work for every day, and I feel like it does keep my eyeshadow in place pretty well. I don't even know if you can still get it from Superdrug. Like, you might have to get it from Amazon, but if you're looking for a cheap alternative to the MAC Paint Pots, I think this is still good. I really do. Okay, if I was gonna pick one palette that I want to finish up, I think it would have to be this one, which is the Huda Beauty Smokey Obsessions, just because look at how sad it looks. I wish I could say that I had finished these 2 shades. Unfortunately not the case, they have just broken. I'm just gonna do something quick here. I'm not gonna be too adventurous. I'm gonna take my Morphe M433 and I'm just gonna start with the lighter shade. Actually, this one is another throwback because I'm pretty sure this is the palette I used for my first YouTube video. Please ignore how fat my face is now compared to back then. Yeah, I used to love this palette. This was a present from my fiance. He picked it out himself and I was very impressed. I'm gonna switch into the darker brown here. So the medium brown actually, not the darkest one. I think she discontinued this one pretty early on and I don't know why. I think it's nice. I guess she doesn't really need it now because she's made more nude. She's not really made anything else in this colour story, has she? Maybe some of the haze ones or the recent nude ones. I can't remember what they're called. Oh, was it the brown collection? I'm using the lightest brown again, by the way. And then I'm gonna go into the darkest brown, deepen that up. This would just be the kind of quick look I would normally do for work. Whatever palette I'm using, this is normally how it goes. And then I'm gonna switch to a Morphe M441, a nice big blending brush. And I'm gonna go into the lightest brown again. And I just come in and blend. And I'm going to go back into the medium brown as well. Just lots of building up really. And I normally kind of stay inside of my crease at the front, but then at the back I'm more above it and following my brow around a bit more just to give a nice lift. That was probably one of the best tips that I learned on my makeup course that I did a couple of years ago. I feel like it's really helped me with my eyeshadow. And then just back in with the M441, the lighter shade. Then I'm just going to switch to Morphe M456 just because it's a smaller brush, and I'm going to take the darkest brown and come in underneath and connect it up. And then back into the medium brown. And then I'm going to take my M441 and just make sure it's all nicely connected and blended. I mean, I feel like it's definitely not the most pigmented right now, but this palette is 4 years old, I want to say, almost 5 maybe. It could be that the product is just old, so the pigmentation is just a bit affected, which, like, what are you going to do about that? Or, you know, the formula's just a bit old and eyeshadow's just come a long way since then. But for a quick little smoky eye, I mean, it's fine. I really wish I could use that lightest rose gold on the lid. Maybe I can try. Yeah, I think I can maybe just get some out. I'm going to take my Morphe M166. I'm just like scratching it out, which is giving me fallout, which is not what I wanted. I'm just going to do the whole lid with it. I'm going to come and blend in a second. And then I think I'm going to go into the darkest brown again, just back on the M433, just smoke it out at the back. And then I'm going to take the M456 just at the front, just to try and soften that out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Again, not the most pigmented, but I think it is just because it's a bit of an older formula. I do just need a powder brush because I have a lot of fallout. All right, let's do eyeliner next, and I'm going to use the Collection Extreme 24-Hour Felt Tip Liner. As the name indicates, it's a felt tip liner and it is quite a thick nib. I'm going to get in a bit closer and you guys will notice it is not the most pigmented. The reason I bought this is I went through a phase where I was struggling with gel liner, and I got this one because I used to use it when I was a lot younger and it's a very cheap option. I think that this is a good option if you are learning how to do eyeliner. And the fact that it isn't super pigmented, like, that does mean it's not great, but it will help with mistakes a little bit because they're not as visible. When you're first learning, I think that a felt tip nib like this is just a little bit easier. You just have a little bit more control. Would I repurchase this now? No. I think once you know what you're doing a bit more, there are just way better options out there. This might actually be on its last legs. I think I'm gonna be throwing this out in a second. Yeah, oh my god, it's actually finished. Brilliant. That's now 2 products I'm throwing out after this video. I'm just gonna do some black eyeliner on my waterline, and this one wasn't in the box, but I guess it should be because it's almost there. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Gel Crayon. I bought this one because I feel like it was getting a lot of recommendations from some of the bigger YouTubers, and they were saying it was like really good for staying in place and all that, and I don't really think it is. Again, I don't know if this one is still sold or not because I've had it for a while. Again, wouldn't repurchase. Right, we need some blush and some highlighter. I don't actually have a blush in here. I'm just gonna go into my I Heart Revolution Peach and Glow on an angled brush, and I'm just gonna pop that on the cheek. I've really been enjoying this lately. I had been wanting to purchase it for absolutely ages, and I'm glad I've got it. Highlighter, we do have one technically, but not really. I'm gonna use the highlighter that comes in the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Contour Palette. I'm not particularly in a hurry to finish this highlighter. I actually think it's quite nice. I think Revolution really do know what they're doing when they're doing highlighters. If I finish the contour first, which I would expect I will because I use the contour shade more often than I use the highlight shade, this palette would move out of my, I guess, project pan box and into my normal drawer because I'm not in a hurry to finish this one. I think it's really nice. I'm gonna use the same highlighter for the inner corner, and then I also like to do the brow bone before I do my brows, and then I go in with my blending brush again just to blend the highlighter in with my lighter shade. I'm just gonna quickly curl my lashes. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Revolution 5D Lash Mascara. That was a very satisfying noise. Again, this one isn't in here because I dislike it. I actually do enjoy it. Does it add a ton of length or volume? No, not really. Like, I've had better mascaras and I wouldn't repurchase this, but I'm not mad at it. I think it's fine. I just wouldn't get it again. I've got mascaras that just do a lot more for me, but it's not terrible. All right, we are nearly done. So I'm gonna do brows next, and I'm gonna use the MUA Brow Define Eyebrow Pencil. And this is in the shade Mid Brown, so it is a little bit too dark for me, but we're gonna use it anyway. This one was sent to me by MUA last year, I think. And I went through a phase where I really liked it, which I didn't expect because it is a normal pencil. It's not like a micro pencil or anything. It's very affordable. It's pretty quick to use, but you guys know normally in my videos I use my Pink Honey. I just do my brows very differently than I used to, so that's why I don't ever use it on Instagram. I'm also not enjoying the lack of precision. Yeah, these are not my best brows. They just aren't. The shape is so bad. Like, nothing about these brows looks good at the moment. Let's move on and set them in place, or attempt to. I'm gonna use the Laminate Brow from Revolution. You may be wondering why I didn't just use the pencil end of this, and let me, yeah, I went to use it one day and it just fell out. I didn't like the pencil end anyway. I didn't think it was very precise. Let me start by brushing it backwards actually to see if I can really coat everything. The conclusion from the video where I tried this was to just try and use it as a normal brow gel. From the name Laminate Brow, it's meant to be used for a more fluffy brow. It just doesn't hold my hairs up in the right direction. I really don't like it. It's also clearly moving the product underneath. I mean, what is going on with this brow? Oh no, I really don't like this product. It has no hold. It's not a good brow gel. Don't buy it, don't buy it. All right, finally, let's do lips. I have got a product that I have included in here, which is the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte in the shade Trophy Wife. My fiance got me this at the same time as he got me the Huda eyeshadow palette, and it's a mini. I should have finished this ages ago. Like, it's 4 years old. The reason it isn't is because I am the kind of person with expensive makeup who'll be like, oh, I can't use this. I don't want to use it up. I don't want it to go. Which I feel like I've changed that attitude now because there's no point having that attitude. So yeah, I put this one in here because I was like, I need to finish it up. So I'm gonna grab the matching pencil. I think I still have it. Okay, I know for a fact that I still had the matching pencil, but I don't know where it is. Actually, I did find something that I think should move into my products that I want to finish up, which is my MAC Prep and Prime lips. Yeah, Prep and Prime lip. I never ever think to use a lip primer. It's just meant to extend the wear of your lipstick, stop it from bleeding, all of that. And then yeah, I'm gonna go over it with the liquid lipstick. Oh, I do like this shade of pink. He did choose that really well. I don't think it smells quite right. I think it might need to go. I'm a bit unsure about that. We'll see if my lips fall off, basically. And then I'm just gonna pop on some more fixing spray. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope as always that you liked it. I mean, this isn't the most exciting makeup look, I will acknowledge that, but I really wanted to do this video because I just thought it would be fun to look at some products that never really appear on my channel. Looking at the makeup, I definitely know why I'm just trying to finish some of these products off and get rid of them. It's just not looking the best. I mean, the skin in particular, there's just so many imperfections coming through, and I feel like for the texture of that foundation, I should just be more covered up. I already have all this settling, I have it up here as well. I feel like layering the two concealers was probably quite a good idea actually to get that coverage. I do feel like the bronzer and the contour just aren't sitting right on my forehead, and I think that's why I just wouldn't recommend either of them. There's just always something not quite right. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I really hate the way my eyebrows look. Oh my god. This shape right now is just, it's just not the one, is it? The eyeshadow is fine. I feel like it's blended quite well. I do think that maybe because it's a bit of an older formula, it's struggling a little bit with pigmentation, but I think it's gone on absolutely fine. Again, the Maybelline Color Tattoo has really been like a rediscovery for me that I just didn't expect this year. The lipstick looks fine. My lips haven't fallen off yet. We're gonna see how that goes because I think it does smell a little bit off, which has literally happened in like the last couple of months because it smelled fine when I decluttered my collection. But yeah, like, I mean, it's not my best makeup look. I knew that wasn't gonna be the case. It's the skin. I don't like that foundation. Anyway guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I do really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you liked that it was something a little bit different. We will be resuming some of our usual colourful content very soon. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, then do please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought about it. And if you haven't already, then do please make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.
Summer days burn me out, love just brings me down. Go inside like winter leaves that slowly leave the ground. Hey, you come back, I wanna give you a chance. Love me.